Today I messed up by talking to a cop, costing me a pair of underwear. This one actually happened today for once. For context, me and my mom had some barbecue last night from a new spot just outside of town. Pretty damn good. A little greasy though. Got to talk to our neighbor, a state trooper, for the first time in months since we all got vaxxed. Fast forward to today. I'm outside mowing the yard when our neighbor, the state trooper, comes over in full uniform waving his arms telling me to stop mowing for a second so he can talk to me. I already had been feeling a little bit of a stomach rumble before this happened. I stopped the lawnmower, I shut it off, I get off it, and I go walking out to the road to meet him. He starts asking me questions about the yard, purposefully making it sound like I'm being grilled for something I did wrong. Rumbling in my gut continues to get worse as I'm trying to figure out a way to end this conversation quickly. About that time he finally stops with the act, claps me on the back a few times, and says, "Don't worry kid, I'm just messing with you." At which point, the dam breaks. And it's not a silent one that I can keep secret and clench between my cheeks while I walk awkwardly back to the house. No, that would be too easy. It was loud, it was wet, and it immediately began running down my legs. He sees it, looks at me, and is about to start freaking out when I say the only thing that I could think of in my panic-stricken mind. "No sir officer, it is I that is crapping with you." He was still on the ground laughing after I walked to the garden hose to clean off before going in. Ruined my new pair of undies with the pockets inside to keep you bits separate and comfortable. Too long. Didn't read. Had some barbecue that caused me crap myself in front of my cop neighbor and ruined a new pair of underwear. Today I messed up by playing Zelda, Ocarina of Time the wrong way. My little cousin lent me his 3DS with Zelda oot in it, and being the boomer I am, the nostalgia was too strong to not pick it up after all these years. My run was going pretty smoothly, except a few moments where I could not find a key item to continue. I forgot to pick Din's fire and was blocked in front of the Shadow Temple. Talking about this temple, while I struggled a bit with the water one, who didn't? I found this one freaking insanely hard. Every single room was a mind twister, since everything was hidden. I did all the goddamn dungeon with the grappling hook laser, testing and moving slowly through it. I was like, damn, I was a beast back then. Video games used to be so hard. I went like this until the final boss, where I finally realized, I'm freaking supposed to have the truth lens. I stood there, baffled by my own stupidity. No way this game would have been this hard. Humble brag here, but I still did the final boss without the lens, by just shooting the hands and spamming the sword when bongo bongo rush for the hit. It took me a good 3 hours to finish it. The worst parts were the invisible platforms, before the boss and with the moving one. 30 minutes on this one. 0 out of 10 would do it again. Too long. Didn't read, played Ocarina of Time, did the whole Shadow Temple without the truth lens. Today I messed up by weeping at the hairdressers. I have been in self-isolation for just over 60 days now, and by living by myself I have only had minimal contact with people once every 2 weeks, when I visit the supermarket. I have not spoken to anyone in person in that entire time. The stuff-up occurred this time yesterday. Shutdown restrictions were lifted slightly over the weekend, and with no new reported cases of COVID-19 in the last 3 weeks I felt comfortable going outside, and going to get my hair cut. As was to be expected, it was empty as people are still hesitant regarding the prevailing conditions. This is where the stuff-up occurred. I began speaking to the hairdresser as you do, difficult as that may be for me with my broken Chinese. Within I would say 30 seconds of them washing my hair, combined with the conversation, it all became too much for me. How isolated and lonely I have been for the past 2 months, how we as a species are dependent on one another for basic human contact. My limited use of the local language made it then impossible for me to convey properly how I was feeling and why I was crying. The poor hairdresser thought I had shampoo in my eye. I really hope any of you who are reading this right now and are doing the responsible thing of self-isolating, read this as a reminder to remain conscious of your mental health. It is very easy to bury that with what's going on, but it will likely come back to haunt you after it is all said and done. Too long. Didn't read. I spent 2 months without any human contact, and as soon as someone spoke to me and touched me in the slightest, I was crying like a baby.